Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Today is... What day is it today? Friday? Is it Friday? It is Friday. Oh boy. Yeah, it is. Okay, how could I forget? PCE data day. Big data that came out today. And we have got a lot of red candles that have nothing to do with the data that we got today. We're going to analyze why. We're going to look into it. Try to, I guess, explain why this is happening. What to expect. And just a good old analysis of the rest of the market. Why is Aptos dropping 11%? Oh my gosh. Are we going to start with this? I know I'm jumping straight to Aptos because this is just concerning. These are like newer lows every time. It just doesn't stop. 172. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Aptos is done, is it? I don't like what I'm seeing. But anyway, great for shorting. If you were shorting on this, congrats. You're making billions. Look at that funding rate. I don't think we ever seen a funding rate more negative than that, huh? No, I'm sure we have. And like very low cap altcoins. Where are we? Are we still at least maintaining our position in the 40s for Aptos? 49. That just means the whole market in general is just crashing or losing its value. Year to date, we're down 80%. It's one of the worst. Yeah, literally nothing else is lower than 80%. Anything above Aptos has not gone down 80% in this year to date. Terrible performance for Aptos. Well, there you go. Congratulations. Bitcoin, on the other hand, um, we had a bit of a downward movement. 89,234. No real headlines as to why we're crashing. We got great economic data. We should be rising, and to be fair, credit where it is due, we were rising once the data came out. For whatever reason, that PCE data came out at 10 a.m. this morning instead of the usual 8:30. I woke up at 8:30. I was like, dude, let me check the data, right? And I saw Bitcoin was just doing nothing. I'm like, where's the data? What's going on? And then I checked the calendar, the economic calendar. I'm like, oh, it's at 10 a.m. I guess they're not only did they delay the data, but they're also, well, first of all, this is really late data. And then this is also just coming out at a later hour. So that didn't help, but still, 10 a.m. volatility, it was there. I have these dots here because I'm looking at the 15-minute chart to kind of find good entries. Because I do want to find anything that's oversold when we are in an uptrend would be a good idea for entering, but there's some divergence going on over here. The first low that we made, 4 a.m., no one cares. Nobody was awake. We made our second low right over here at about 9:30. For whatever reason, Bitcoin was just on its way down this morning before we got that economic data. When we did get it at 10 a.m., we rose, well, 0.82%. I thought it would be larger than that. But hey, we went from $90,200 to $91,400. It looked like we were on a good trajectory. We could continue rising from here. And then right after that, no, we just decided to drop because, yeah. So two oversold opportunities, and we were going lower and lower and lower each time. Now we've kind of stabilized right over here. We're in the middle with the RSI. I know, like, it's gonna give you a lot of false signals on the 15-minute chart. So that's one thing you have to pay attention to, or not pay too much attention to instead, right? Only when you're seeing it in like a macro scale. I call a 4-hour chart macro, but hey, when we're talking about the trend, right? You could expect something dropping to around the price of Bitcoin dropping to around 86, 87,000 maybe, and you could find a good potential entry there if you do see, 15-minute chart after being oversold. So I'm picturing something like this. I told you like 86 or 87, right? I'm saying the 6-7 thing. Whoops. But yeah, we could see something like this happening where it becomes oversold and then it starts going on the rise again. Yeah, you'll probably enter a little late, but it's likely going to be safe if we are to maintain this uptrend. If this uptrend is not going to be maintained, get out of it with a stop loss. And what I mean by that, this is a plan that I have. Don't copy me because I'm stupid. But here, we could essentially do this, find our entry at maybe 87,000, target at something absurd, And your stop loss, not too far, but like, we could do 85,300. Because if we go to the 4-hour chart, please let me go to the 4-hour chart. What happened here? Okay, whatever. This is kind of what I'm seeing, right? Any little blip that drops down below over here, but if we like eventually recover and maintain the uptrend, this will be a lower low, meaning that anything else, because we're following this uptrend line, should be another higher low, and as well as we should be making higher highs, right? Something like this on a healthy uptrend, which is kind of what we've been seeing so far. That's why we got this deserved trend flip over here, and why I've been thinking this could be the start of something bigger. Yes, I'm expecting some short-term movement downwards. I don't expect it to happen over this weekend. We're about to enter that, so we're getting low volatility. Maybe some price decay. Could be the case. Sunday drop, sure. And then Monday we start rising once again. Could absolutely be the case. We've got good stuff to look forward to next week. That could bring us some good volatility toward the upside. And that is the FOMC rate cut decision happening on Wednesday. We're going into it kind of blind because we have no October data and basically no November data. It's getting delayed until after that meeting. So we're just trying to kind of figure out what's happening in September. We already got the inflation reading, the Fed's preferred inflation reading with the PCE data. Off the top of my head, it came in line with expectations and actually dropped a little bit. Our expectation was inflation to rise. So yes, technically inflation was on the rise. But our other reading, the core PCE reading, was actually slightly below our expectations by 0.1%, which means that inflation is not rising as much. It's not rising to what our expectations are, which is a good thing, right? We don't have to concern ourselves too much with inflation and start focusing on the labor market, according to the ADP data that we got, which is something that we could base or assume, right, what the movements could look like, because that's why we had this rise a couple days ago, 2nd of December, because we had that ADP data. It was telling us that the jobs, we were doing bad on the jobs, so the Fed is likely going to have to cut rates to help the job market. So we shall see if that is indeed the case. And yeah, this kind of explains like this little movement thing that I'm hoping to take advantage of. Targets, maybe 97, maybe. I'd wait for next week's pivot resistance levels to kind of help determine where we could be heading. Although, I mean, if you don't want to wait that long, you could just draw a Fibonacci level from 126K to 80,000 and kind of base your little, what do I call this? A prediction for where we could slow down. It's looking at 98,000. Then, of course, psychologically speaking, that's 100,000. Yeah, I think I'm willing to ignore the 97 for now. I don't think we're going to hit that, like, the week is basically over. We're not going to get enough volatility on Saturday, tomorrow, to push us up to 97,000. It's just not going to happen. And if it does, panic sell, because that is fake. It's a fake pump. Nobody's trading on a Saturday, okay? That being said, yeah, I'd pay attention more to Fibonacci resistance levels, which you're looking at 98,000. Shouldn't be too much of a barrier to break, right? The stronger barriers are the ones that are after the half mark, which would be anything above 103,000. So our next resistance would be 108,000, 116,000, and then, of course, the all-time high. Yeah, like that's ever going to happen, right? No, but we got to be patient. We got to wait and see. Maybe this is the start of something, you know? We could keep this going for a while. Even if it's only up to 100,000, I would be fine with that. And then, I don't know, we break this uptrend. Could happen, right? Breaking the uptrend, we start making a lower low for a correction to kind of liquidate longs or whatever the case is, because believe it or not, people are still going too long and they're getting liquidated. It would flip the trend over, whatever super trend we have over here, right? Start going negative a little, and then before we reaccumulate and start heading actually much higher. Could be the case. I don't think we're going to go this low, though. I don't know, something as low as this, probably. I'm just saying, like, another lower, we would have to just adjust this uptrend to something longer like that in the eventual future. I know this looks like a bunch of squiggly lines, but trust me, it will make sense. Maybe it might make sense. I don't know. This might just not even play out. We could just crash to 66,000 and call it a day, call it a year. I don't know. It's up to you at this point. So, yeah, that's the plan for now. Next, let's move on to Ethereum, $3,023. We poked below the 3,000 mark. That's not good. We hit a low of 2,983. So just like that, whatever, Fusaka upgrade, who cares about that? We're just going to start flirting with dropping below 3,000 once again. So that's the case for Ethereum. Uptrend is still there nonetheless. It can continue dropping, don't get me wrong. How low can we go? About 2,000. Let me see. Not 2,000. I've just paused my sentence mid number. I don't want to confuse you guys. So I'd say like anything below 2,900, between 2,875, 2,900. We could see a potential drop for Ethereum. Might take a while though. I don't know. If we're lucky, we'll hover above 3,000 for the duration of tomorrow and the day after. Sunday would give us some more information with new pivot levels, with the price actually moving somewhere to kind of give us a better idea. So we're going to have to stay tuned for that. The way I see this, like even this downtrend line over here, we're still respecting that. So yeah, that's why I believe. Same deal with Bitcoin, right? We have a larger downtrend over here eventually, which is why I'm confident in saying, yeah, we could make a lower low. No, not a lower low, a higher low before we start going back up to retest whatever barrier we have to break, whichever downtrend line is overshadowing the price in both Ethereum and Bitcoin's case. And similar to Solana, this was a perfect bounce off of this downtrend line that I have. Although in the 4-hour chart, it's telling me, yes, we are in an uptrend, so things should be relatively safe for now, as long as Solana maintains itself above $128. The current price is 133. We hit a low today of 130, dropping from about, anything above 140 we were at, which was not too bad. Hitting a high of 146 in recent terms, right? When we bounced below that downtrend line, which this is a natural bounce, by the way. That was perfect. I like that. Moving on to SUI. 154. Okay. Still on an uptrend, as long as we stay above 140. Will I be re-entering SUI? Probably not. SUI is my biggest holding right now, and it's the one that I'm being mistreated the hardest. But I also have the most faith in it. Like, there's this little inch of faith in my heart that I'm like, yes, I know SUI can recover and do 20% gains back to back every day until we get back to like $3 or something. What are we at right now? My break-even price is 231, and we're at 154, dude. It's gonna take a minute, but yeah, you can't put faith in these markets. Never marry your bags. It is what it is. Just follow your own analysis and your own strategies, of course. I did like this progress that we've been making, though. Like, movements like this, it's possible. Hey, we've seen it. 178 was or 179, you can round that to, was our local top. Yeah, practically same deal. We do have a downtrend line as well that we have to eventually break out of. So it looks like we're taking a break, reaccumulating strength before we go ahead and face off on that level before we can start taking off higher once again. And I do expect most of this to happen next week. This is gonna be tough to kind of predict because I've not looked at the rate cut odds, but let me pull this up. Flashbang warning. Get out of here. So, the odds somehow dropped. Yesterday we checked, it was 87%. Now it's 86.2%. Oh, big difference. No, it's the odds are still in our favor here. We are going to get our rate cut for the FOMC meeting. And that should be priced into the markets. This is why I'm a bit reluctant to say that, yes, Wednesday everything will go up. No, it's probably already priced in. What's going to matter the most is what Jerome Powell talks about. We know the guy is on his way out. We know that Kevin Hassett is likely to replace the guy. So, I don't know. We got to wait and see what he says, right? I guess there's still some people who are a bit uncertain as to whether or not the Fed will actually cut rates. I'm in full belief that they will, and I have always been these past couple of months. Even, during the worst times of October, of November, I was like, yeah, dude, regardless of this government shutdown and what other people are fearing with inflation, everything points to the money printer. It's obvious we're going to have our rate cut. I don't know, prove me wrong, I dare you. Actually don't. It's going to damage everything if we actually don't get a rate cut. That's going to be a nasty surprise. But no, I think we're going to get the rate cut, dude. Come on. No guarantees on this channel, by the way. Nasty drop, by the way, on Sui today. 7%. Hyperliquid's not doing any better. 8%. I like where it is right now, though. I mentioned about $29 could be a potential good entry for it. I just hope that we close the week above 31 because the current price is $30.74. What that means, if you go to the weekly chart, we might be about to flip the super trend into the red, as you can see, because this level, $31.02, it's kind of been the only thing that's keeping Hyperliquid in a potentially more bullish momentum than the rest. So I'm hoping it does not close the week below here. Otherwise, the trend would flip and you'd see the same kind of price action you're seeing on Solana, on Ethereum, on even Bitcoin for that matter. They've already flipped their weekly trends over into the red. And Hyperliquid is that one coin that has not done that yet. And I don't want it to. I want to have faith in the Hyperliquid ecosystem and the fact that it can maintain itself even amidst a bear market. People are still using Hyperliquid. I don't know. I feel like people would lose interest, but I'm sure like the whales, they love the Hyperliquid. So yeah, decay during Saturday till 29. Please become oversold on the RSI. I'd gladly enter a position and then close the week in the green as well. That would be great. We'll see. For now, though, I'm staying out of it. Multiple supports, though, on 30. 30, 29, very important. We'll see. Chainlink down 4% today. It's had its good rise, so it's not a big deal. Still in an uptrend. Invalidates at 12.76. The current price is $13.60. AI and space tech fuel crypto rally that is not real. Moving on. BitTensor down 4%. Am I in danger? I'm not in danger. I am the danger. 277 is the current price. It sucks that we're like again below 300. Come on, BitTensor. But maybe good entries around 250, 250, 250 to 255, we'll say. I'm gone at 241, by the way, so I better, if I will, put in a substantial amount. I don't know if I really want to at this point. These are, if I'm not mistaken, these are practically yearly lows. When was this happening? April of this year. Oh no, we've been worse off. That's not good. Don't tell me that. August 5 crisis, we've been at like 160. Our April 7 crisis, 168. Whatever you want to call this crisis. October 10, sure, that doesn't count. 134, but whatever. Right now, we're still making newer lows, like this weekly low. What is this number? 253. We have not seen the 160s again. And if we do, I'm screwed. I'm out. So let's just hope it doesn't happen. Yeah, weekly trend is still in the red for it though, so not good. I don't even think I should be entering this. And then Aptos, we already looked at it. Okay, here you go, guys. Aptos plunges 8% as Apple Music crowns Rosé's hit. Who is Rosé? What does Apple Music have to do with Aptos? All right. Clearly the most delusional AI in existence. Um, yeah, but that funding rate is attractive. That's all. Basically means that you get paid fees for holding it if you do it in futures. Okay, there's my little projection for Bitcoin. Hope you enjoy the downfall. And yeah, this is why I have my stop loss in place too, is that, or I will have a stop loss in place once I do actually open the position, is because, you know, if Bitcoin does like just continue dropping below here, we just have a trend flip and everything is going lower forever. And I would lose on that position, not a lot, but whatever, I'll lose. And then, you know, yeah, sure, Bitcoin can go up higher, but it's eventually just going to keep dropping. Probably, if that is to be the case. So that's why 86, 87,000, very important levels for Bitcoin to be holding on to for dear life. Now I can delete all of this. All right, and let's move on. What do we got to talk about today? We got a lot of news. Not really, but still news that we will be discussing. Some stuff is always happening every day, so let's get to it. The PCE data that I mentioned. Here are the numbers. I guess I've been talking about it so much that I didn't even mention the numbers. I just mentioned the 0.1 thing. Here it is. The core PCE price index year over year for September. For September. We're not getting October because government shutdown. Like permanently. We're never getting October. And then November, we're not getting it. It's delayed until after FOMC meeting. We're in December right now, so we don't know what the actual data is until the month of December is over. We have to wait until January. So, yeah, whatever. You get that point. But we're getting it for September because we couldn't get it in October because the government was shut down. It's basically what's happening here, if you're confused as to why we're seeing some old data. Yeah, well, in the month of September, inflation has not been rising too much, as expected. Month over month, 0.2% in line with expectations. Yeah, this should be bullish. The core PCE signals cooling inflation, potentially bullish for markets by raising odds of Fed rate cuts, supporting stocks and bonds. Month over month, met expectations. Some see risks of economic slowdown as bearish. Reactions vary, but history shows positives for equities. That's the only caveat here. Is yeah, the basically could be that the economy is not doing good because, well, why? Inflation? Really? When it comes to jobs market, I will understand, but inflation, really? Sure, whatever. There's that. Inflation is under control, meaning the focus will be on the labor market, meaning that rate cuts guaranteed. Yes. It's basically what I'm understanding from it all. And other analysts agree, so that is good. We have a lot of layoffs announced. US government laying off 307,000 employees. I'm going to go through all of these and their numbers, so bear with me. UPS laying off 48,000 employees. Amazon up to 30,000. Intel 24,000. Nestle 16,000. Verizon 15,000. I'm just going to say K. Too long. Accenture 11K. Ford 11K. Novo Nordisk 9K. Microsoft 7K employees gone. What is PwC? 5,600 employees. Salesforce 4K. IBM 2.7K. American Airlines 2.7K. Paramount 2K. Target 1.8K. General Motors 1.5K. Applied Materials 1,444. Kroger 1,000 employees laid off. Meta 600 employees laid off. Can Meta stock please start rising? Yeah, dude, they got to do something about the jobs market, right? Meta. I guess I have it here. Hold on. I have it in the Canadian version, so ignore this. Oh, I'm about to be finally in the green. We were a bit overbought today. Good. Meta is finally on the rise. I would assume that laying people off should make your stock price go up because that is I mean, you're cutting waste. You're making your company more efficient, kind of, so to speak, and more money for yourselves because you don't have to pay those employees anymore. They're gone. That's the way I see it. Yeah, it sucks if you work there, but if you invest there, it's a good thing. You acquire this knowledge in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So, yeah. I mean, in American dollars, if you care for Meta, 671. We hit a peak over here at 687. I'm assuming this would have been pre-market or something. Yeah, pre-market. No? Yeah, pre-market. After hitting a low, of course, of 580, we were about like 750, 790. And then we just went on this perpetual downtrend, which I've been DCAing heavily into until I've eventually ran out of money. But, you know, now we're starting to see things sort of on the rise. Yeah, it's not going to rise forever. We can make a slowdown over here before we start making another move up. How low? 630. And then we can go back up to whatever, the 700s. By then, anything above 700, whatever that would equate into the Canadian stock version, anything above 700 that is overbought, I'd likely just take a quick profit from there. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Buying 4-hour chart on stocks, on spot. Anytime it's oversold, DCA. DCA, DCA, DCA. All the way over here. Here there was not many instances of truly oversoldness. Maybe some, and I'm sure I took advantage of some of these. Maybe not all of them. And then, you know, just hold on if the day is green until eventually it becomes green enough. Because Meta is never going to go bankrupt. Right? Don't get me wrong, they could perform poorly and have huge crashes like this. We see that in stocks most of the time, but I try to take advantage of those drops, right? How are we doing in the weekly chart? I've not even noticed. It's not good either. But dude, hey, we're on the rise, dude. AI bubble, not real. Moving on. With that PCE data, Bitcoin pumped 1,500 on the lower than expected PCE data, but then it crashed $3,500 in 60 minutes. We hit a low of 88 something thousand that I showed you. That wiped out $155 million worth of long positions in 1 hour. And there was no negative news or sudden FUD which could cause this type of sudden dump. I just showed you the rate cut odds. They're still in our favor. No real change from yesterday, like not even 1%. Guaranteed rate cut. Come on, why are we crashing? It appears that a few entities control the entire crypto market, and they manipulate price almost every week to liquidate both leveraged longs and shorts. I want to say today was Friday, right? Did we get a lot of options expiry today? Maybe? I don't know. When people sell, it's manipulation. When the price goes up, no one questions it. Yeah, that's precisely it. Okay. President Trump said that he will release a new platform called Truth AI. There you go. If you want a Trump AI, there you go. I'm assuming DJT would be the most related stock to all this. Of course, Truth Social, Truth AI, those are under the DJT stock. Well, so far that is down 65% year to date. I remember we did look recently into DJT. Let's have a quick updated look. I think I might have looked at this at the bottom, or it was either $11 or maybe even 10. November 21. Dude, it was severely oversold though. Slow recovery, green uptrend. We're on our way back up. Potential entry. If you trust that Trump can make you billions, then go for it, man. No, not actually. I would not. But it's there. Start of something bigger. I'm assuming that this would also have some kind of correlation, even with the crypto industry, because of the fact that we are so heavily invested in each other at this point. You know, we have the Trump meme coin, we have World Liberty Finance Project, we have American Bitcoin Company, and then you also have partnerships with Crypto.com. Chris investing tons of millions of dollars into this stock, and vice versa. DJT invested a lot into Kronos, the Crypto.com token, blockchain ecosystem. You get it, exchange. So, Yeah, they are pretty closely correlated. If crypto does recover, that this thing will rise. Is basically what I'm trying to say. It won't like moon, but it will. It'll have a good effect because even throughout, I'm assuming it would have been around here. The partnership with Kronos. When did DJT with partner with Kronos? August 2025. Looks like August 26, 2025. So we're about over here, dude. This was the huge crypto partnership news candle. A 5% movement on DJT stocks. So that's what I'm saying. It's not gonna like make it skyrocket all the way up like we've seen when Trump wins the election type deal. Something like this. October, November. Yeah, this is like November last year. Trump wins the election right over here. It's not like that is going to happen, but we'll have a good spike up like that. All right, moving on. Speaking of Trump, remember how he got robbed of this Nobel Peace Prize? It was given to Mrs. Machado instead from Venezuela. Well, FIFA, whom they've met at the White House, the FIFA World Cup soccer, whatever. They gave the first annual Peace Prize, the FIFA Peace Prize, to President Donald Trump. All right, well, there you go. Deserved. Congrats. I mean, he deserved the Nobel Peace Prize too, in my opinion, but sure. Who even is Machado at anymore? In 2025? That's crazy. She's got wife and kids. I mean, husband and whatever. You know what? Trump also gave a perfect response after speaking with the press after this. Well, before he received the Peace Prize, I'm assuming. The reporter says you were about to get the FIFA Peace Prize. Trump says, I don't need prizes. I need to save lives. I did settle 8 wars. We have a 9th coming. I've saved millions of lives. It's really what I want to do. Yeah, that 9th war, let's hope that gets resolved soon because it's still going hard. This report came out today. We did like a 9/11 on another one of these Russian buildings from Ukraine. A drone strike nails the Chechen government offices. A drone slammed into a skyscraper in Grozny, packed with Chechen government offices, just down the road from the palace of Ramzan Kadyrov, the Putin-loyal strongman who runs the region like a mafia boss. The building hosts the local security council, election commission, and other top institutions. Now it's missing part of its face. So far, there was no casualties reported, no statement from officials, just silence and broken glass. Earlier this week, another drone lit up a Russian FSB base in Guderms, which was it's close by. I looked at this in the map. Kiev's flying straight for Putin's pressure points. I don't know. This is like South Russia we're talking. Still close to Ukraine, but yeah. Cool. And this wouldn't be the first time they've done a drone style attack like this. I remember there was another building that they also did this to. Crazy stuff. Please end the war. Anyways, at that Kennedy Center with the FIFA Peace Prize thing, other world leaders were there. Mark Carney was there. Seems like he's awkwardly trying to position himself near him to kind of speak with him. They're still going to have a proper meeting once the draw is done. I don't remember if I covered it, but yes, there was these talks about Mark Carney is going to be visiting Trump. I don't know if it was this week or next week. Hold on. I could literally just look this up. Carney Trump. I cannot type. Carney Carnet Trump. The mic cable is like in the way of my keyboard, so it makes it a little tough to try to type. Making small talk before the FIFA World Cup draw in Washington. Trump would rather talk to his wife than Carney. I mean, I would too, but sure. When are they meeting up? Dude, I know who was it? I think it's Mr. Sunshine Baby posted that they would be meeting up. Let me find here. I'm trying to find it. I'm pretty sure they will be meeting up though. Oh, this is our conservative mayor of BC, by the way. Awesome. There's no such thing as conservatives anymore. Danielle Smith. Apparently she like sold out Alberta. I don't know. We can't beat them, join them, I guess, is the mentality there. Somebody got removed. Okay, this guy. John Rousted is no longer the leader of the BC Conservatives. The party has now ousted him. Okay. Come on. How long ago was this posted? It was like a couple days ago. I don't know if I just want to scroll through this whole profile the whole way. All right, you know what? Forget it. But trust me, I think they're going to be meeting up, okay? Another thing that happened today was, I mean, Canada and United States seem to also have like their economic data supposed to be released at the same time. Of course, there's some discrepancies, there's some delays because shut down. But for Canada, let me go to Canada. Save. We got the non-farm payroll on our end today, right? Non-farm payroll, unemployment rate, it's basically the same thing. Not the how much jobs were added. No, okay, it does show that here. Okay, full-time, part-time employment changes. Looks like we lost more full-time jobs and added 63,000 part-time jobs. There's no consensus for any of them. Whatever, that's there. And the unemployment rate dropped for Canada. It's because I got employed, that's why. Temporarily, and now I'm not anymore, so that number is going to change. But this is, up-to-date information for November, right? So we are actually getting our economic data. We added 54,000 jobs in November, and unemployment rate dropped to 6.5%, defying expectations for a decline in hiring. Yeah, I'll be the judge of that. I've not been getting hired much, but anyway. Great news for Canadians. Of course, Mark Carney wants to kind of brag about the good stuff, the good half of it. We're diversifying our trade partners and building big at home, are we? Creating new career opportunities for Canadians, especially young people. The unemployment rate plunges with third month of big job gains. Part-time work. It's not a real job. Sure. On the other side of the world, we've got the other man, the other ex-prime minister, Justin Trudeau. This is so funny. This picture is like, it's up there with like the Trump assassination survival, the blue sky USA flag in the background type picture. This is great. This is gold. This is the former prime minister of Japan, right? Who is this guy? I don't understand this name. Can I just look it up? Search. Oh. Yes. No. Search. Member of the House of Representatives of Japan. He's a Japanese parliamentary. He did serve as the ex-prime minister. He was the ex-prime minister of Japan. Okay, good. I was right. I remember his face. That's why. Yeah, Justin Trudeau met up with him, and Katy Perry is also there. That's so funny. And what's even funnier is what he said. He said, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, visited Japan with his partner. With his partner. No name drop. No Katy Perry. No girlfriend. No fiance, spouse, wife, whatever. His partner. Okay. It's pretty suspicious, but whatever. And joined my wife and me for lunch. Yeah, see, he says he didn't join my partner for lunch. Me and my partner. He joined me and my wife. But Justin Trudeau visited with his partner, not his wife, not his girlfriend, not his whatever. Anyways, be formal about it. That's fine. Last bits of Canada talk before I bore you guys too much. National Bank of Canada reveals they have $273 million bet on Bitcoin basically through Michael Saylor's strategy company. The country's sixth largest bank now holds 1.47 million MicroStrategy shares. So they're also this huge Bank of Canada, National Bank of Canada. It's not even that huge though. They're also a part of this big old decline that we're all going through with MicroStrategy. How is the stock doing? Are we recovering? Barely. 178. Yeah, we're all in this together, okay? It's fine, dude. We're fine. Okay, that's good. Metaplanet raised $50 million using Bitcoin as collateral to buy more Bitcoin. I want to do that too. No, I don't have any, though, so I'm on my own. Eric Trump bragging that he is on the way up. American Bitcoin keeps on climbing. They're increasing their Bitcoin holdings. They've increased by 2 more positions, basically going from, I guess, anything from 4,000 to 4,367 Bitcoins that they currently hold. The next stop is GameStop. GameStop has 4,710 Bitcoins. American Bitcoin 4,300, like I said, so they're pretty close to passing that, and they're the 23rd largest company that holds Bitcoin. Number 1, of course, is Strategy. Second place, Marathon. I don't know what XXI is. Metaplanet, number 4. Bullish, number 6. Riot Platforms, number 7. Coinbase, number 8. Trump Media, number 10. That's why I mentioned the DJT stock kind of has that correlation with Bitcoin or crypto price movements in general. If the crypto sector improves, we'll see DJT benefit from it. Nothing too crazy, but it'll still benefit. Same deal with Tesla, has 11,000 Bitcoins. Hut 8 in 12th position has 10,000 Bitcoins. Strive, another MicroStrategy company. I think, right? ASST. I've never seen that ticker. But yeah, 7,500, etc. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but good. State of Indiana introduces a bill to allow public investment funds to buy Bitcoin ETFs. That's great. And before I talk about that, I want to talk about this. Why did you go down? We just had $3 trillion we had $3 trillion institutions opening up to crypto in a single week. We talked about Vanguard, 11 trillion assets under management. They're opening access to crypto ETFs to its 50 million clients. Bank of America, 1.8 trillion assets under management. They recommended the 4% of your portfolio should be allocated into crypto. And Charles Schwab, $12 trillion assets under management, will now allow its clients to buy spot crypto. We talked about all of these before. Wall Street is opening the floodgates for Bitcoin and crypto. And you're still bearish? That's the issue, though, is that people are not really feeling it. That's kind of what I've been seeing. They're thinking the 4-year cycle is over. Do we really want to buy this volatile asset that is performing the worst this year? In 2025, we have got a negative return. The annual return. Do people really want to buy that? People want to buy it when it's at all-time highs. So we kind of need that manipulation to the upside from these institutions to help get us there. At least they're opening the gates, the floodgates, like they say. But I don't know if the demand is fully there yet. The money is there, okay? We've seen the money flow around everywhere. They just don't want to buy crypto yet. Anyways, the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission, has updated the agenda for its December 15 roundtable on crypto. Wow, they're having a roundtable on my birthday. Financial surveillance and privacy, featuring Zcash founder Zuko Wilcox and other crypto and blockchain leaders. I don't think this is the same Zcash founder that we're thinking about. Whatever its name was. Emma something. No. Daria? Was it? Forget it, man. I don't remember. I don't want to remember. Let's move on. Speaking of Zcash, though, no good. No good price action. We're down another 10% today, dude. This is just brutal. Oh, look. My trade is still kind of there. I was mentioning something like, yeah, if we break this uptrend, I mean, this downtrend could be the start of something. No, but I kind of drew this a little too fast. Obviously, it has to be 447, the level that we break, in order for us to kind of be like, yeah, this would be a great opportunity for entry. But I drew this here anyway, just in case to see what would happen. Hey, I'll leave it there just in case. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, there's that. Michael Burry. Um, he might have made his millions, but damn, is he crazy unintelligent? Am I right? The guy from The Big Short who was shorting Nvidia Palantir just recently is closing down his firm. We talked about all that. He gave his first interview in over 10 years. He said that Bitcoin is not worth anything. It's the tulip bulb of our time. He said everyone's accepted it. It's a tulip bulb of our time. It's worse than the tulip bulb because this has enabled so much criminal activity to go deep under. He also said, I think that Bitcoin at 100,000 is the most ridiculous thing. That same people are sitting on TV talking about Bitcoin. They just casually, it's 100,000. It's down now. It's 98,000. It's not worth anything, is what he says. Yeah, all right. Let it be not worth anything for you. For me, it is. Apparently, this is a real thing. This ring, mood ring. Just check your finger. You see if the markets are green or in the red, I guess. I don't know how it works. Industry leader for charts, chats, and markets, partnering with or integrated with TradingView. I want to see what this is about. Wear your heart on your finger. What do you mean? Or unified into a single metric. It's not just another wellness app. Your trades, your sleep, your work, relationships, wins, losses. Okay. It's a bit strange. I've been kind of looking into rings just for like style, not because I'm proposing anywhere ever, but I was thinking about like the Samsung ring. That looked pretty cool. It's literally just a black ring. I think that's kind of cool. And it actually like connects to your phone, measures your heart rate and stuff like that. I don't know why I would need it though. That's kind of why I'm like not getting it. If it like vibrates to tell you notifications or something, I mean, I kind of already have my watch that does that. Like my phone's always on silent and then I have my watch on vibrate. That's how I know I get a text or something. Um there's that, and I don't know. This, if it shows you like with this color thing, I don't know if it's gonna be too flashy. Like I'm just out in public and this ring is glowing red every day because my cryptos are down or something. That'd be so funny. But I don't know. Could be something cool. It could. I don't know. I don't know what this does. I have to look into this more. But this is pretty cool though. I like the concept of this. Wear your heart on your finger. What do you mean, my heart? What are we talking about here? The only bad thing is that I saw one of the Samsung rings. There was a big story on Twitter about this that happened. This guy went on a flight, just fresh bought the Samsung ring, wore it on the flight. After he arrived at the other airport destination, the ring started like expanding, like the battery started swelling up, and it was getting really, really tight on his finger, and he couldn't pull it out to the point where I think he had to go to the emergency room, try to get it out. People were saying like, "Oh, just put a little." There is this trick that people use. If a ring is too tight, you put what do you call it? A string, a little string, or a floss string in between it to kind of like pull it out. Apparently that works. Other people were just like, yeah, just hack it off with a knife or something. No, but that would have been dangerous. But yeah, they managed to get it off, and Samsung actually reached out. They're like, "Oh, we're really sorry to hear this, but please tell us more about the case. We'll refund you. We'll give you a credit, whatever." And the guy like refused anything from it. Like, "No, you guys caused me permanent trauma. I'm not touching this stuff ever again." Which I think that's too petty, man. Come on, just it's a cool ring, and Samsung is the best. Why would you do this? But anyway, it's up to them. Your decision. Binance is introducing Binance Junior, a parent controlled app and sub account for kids and teens. CZ really just said, yeah, let's liquidate all the kids as well. Screw them all. Build family focused crypto savings and prepare your child for a future empowered by crypto. Yeah, put your child's retirement funds in Fartcoin. That would be great. What else has been going on? Twitter is in danger in Europe because the European Union Commission, EU Commission, they have fined the social media platform X 120 million euros, which is $140 million equivalent, after it allegedly breached new European Union digital regulations. The alleged violations include issuing deceptive blue tick verification badges, lack of transparency in advertising with no public list of advertisers, failing to provide researchers access to public data used to monitor political content and other contentious issues. I know it's a big thing where Europe is censoring a lot. And of course, Elon Musk is not happy about this. By the way, X is the #1 app in all of these European countries: UK, Germany, Italy, Spain, Switzerland, Netherlands, Greece, Austria, Poland, Ireland, Hungary, Finland, Romania, etc. People across Europe do trust X as the best source of truth. Shame on the European Commission. And in Portugal. It's not on that list. And Elon Musk says the EU woke Stasi commissars are about to understand the full meaning of the Streisand effect. Basically means if you talk about it, no, if you try to suppress it, people will just talk about it more, kind of deal. Well, yeah, we do need the free speech, and Europe does not want it for whatever reason. Why are you weird? Anyway. SpaceX, also a part of Elon Musk, we know. They're targeting an $800 billion valuation, dethroning OpenAI as the most valuable private company. SpaceX, most valuable private company now. We've talked about it, rumors that it could go public in 2026, meaning that you could trade the stock and own the stock of SpaceX. Because right now you can't. So that's happening. CFO Brett Johnson had told its investors that the deal will be structured as a secondary offering. So existing employees and early investors selling stock with no new capital going onto the balance sheet. Starlink users are up 75% this year to 8 million plus across 150 plus countries. Why Starlink? Anyway, SpaceX projects $15 billion in revenue this year, with Starlink driving 70 to 80%. I guess they're kind of related, sure, because Starlink, you launch satellites into space. Fair enough. Investors are piling in as Starlink becomes SpaceX's core revenue driver. That's true. Would be good. I would like to invest in that, actually. SpaceX going public. Rumors say that it could hit $800 billion. Are we talking about like the market cap when we say this? I assume we do. And if that is the case, 800 billion, that means you're putting it between, can we ignore the ETFs? JP Morgan and Tencent. That's how big the company can be amongst those, right? Right above Visa, Oracle, MasterCard, Samsung, Palantir, Johnson Johnson. Right below Eli Lilly, Walmart, Berkshire Hathaway, Tesla, Taiwan Semiconductors, Meta, etc. It's a pretty big company, and that would mean that Elon Musk is owner of two, we could say top 20 companies from here. Tesla and SpaceX, which would be around in the middle of these two if this was to go live right now. But it won't. It's going to take a while. According to the information, SpaceX has told its investors that it is targeting a late 2026 IPO. That's when it's likely to come out. Possibly for the entire company and not just Starlink, right? Investors chatter say the most anticipated tech IPO of the decade might finally be on the calendar, and Wall Street's already circling. That would be a huge pivot from Elon's earlier someday maybe stance. They're also reportedly prepping a share sale that could value SpaceX at $800 billion, which would dethrone OpenAI as the world's most valuable private company. Once they go public, of course, OpenAI will still stay private. Apparently, they're investing in a lot of woke companies. I read in another post, but anyway. That kind of valuation would make SpaceX worth more than Boeing, Lockheed Martin. Okay, I just went through those companies. Not those specifically, but yeah. None of this is confirmed by SpaceX, but an IPO at this scale would instantly make it one of the most closely watched stocks on Earth. I agree. I think that's going to be really huge for this. We have a rebalance, Quarterly rebalance on the S&P 500. We're adding new stocks. Caravana, Comfort Systems. What is Fix and CRH? Is that Comfort Systems? I've never seen these before. Let's have a look. I've never seen these. Comfort Systems is Fix. And then CRH, what is that? Cement Roadstone Holding, really? We're adding this and we're not adding MicroStrategy. Save us. If MicroStrategy gets added to the S&P 500, it would be a huge slap in the face to MSCI because they're getting delisted from NASDAQ from Russell. January 15, likely. I saw this on Polymarket. By the way, I just realized, yes, you can access the website here, so cool. Where was it? MicroStrategy, where was it? SpaceX IPO. Literally, that's something that we were talking about. The market cap, people are saying it's going to be 800 billion. What is this scroll? Come on. I can't pause there, but anyway. No IPO before 2028. People actually don't think this is happening. That's free money, dude. Of course it's happening. Surely. I love this. I'm loving all of this. This is down up my alley. What was I looking for? Oh yeah, MicroStrategy. When will it be delisted? MicroStrat delisted from MSCI index by March 31. It's a high chance, but I think this should be a guaranteed chance. They literally announced January 15, 2026, MicroStrategy delisted from MSCI index. Brother, unless they do something to turn it around, they would have to sell 50% of their Bitcoin. I don't think they're going to do that. Possible. Can I like actually make an account here? I'll do it later. What's getting removed from S&P 500 is these terrible companies. LKQ, I don't even know what this is. LKQ Corporation, what? What do you do? Is it not going to tell me? Okay, great. Thanks. Is it actually not going to tell me? Like, it's auto parts. Okay, who cares, dude? Who cares? Solstice, SOLS. I've never seen this company either, so deserved. Solstad Offshore. Yeah, never heard of this. Norwegian company. Why is this in the S&P 500 then? Unless Solstad. Solstice. No, this is not the same company. That's what I'm saying. Okay, because if a company's from Norway, you're not allowed to be in the S&P 500. That's just the law of... Hold on. Let me find on TradingView instead. Solstice Advanced Materials. Yeah, this is an American company. Why didn't it show up on company's market cap? What is this scam? We make refrigerators? What? Refrigerants, semiconductor manufacturing. Oh, come on, dude. We're delisting this. I guess they don't see a good future for it. Hey, fair enough. You guys are the asset managers, not me. Mohawk Industries also getting delisted from the S&P 500. Is that right to say? Just removed from the S&P 500, I guess. What was it called? MHK? Don't even know what this does either. Building materials. Okay. You got 520 million cash on hand with... Oh, yeah, a lot of debt. Yeah, deserved. You guys deserve to get out of here. Fair enough. How much debt was that again? I didn't even read the number. 2.34 billion in debt. Yeah, that does not look good. Okay, well, good. They know what they're doing. Stocks will be added into the index before the markets open on December 22nd. Not reading all that. Okay, cool. Good to know. What else is happening? A big partnership between Netflix and HBO that has people concerned. I'm not reading all this, but trans ideology, Obama propaganda might be mixing in there on HBO, Warner Bros. Did I say HBO? It's Warner Bros. $82 billion deal. Not good. But Paramount is also reportedly looking to launch a hostile bid for Warner Bros. They feel their $30 a share all cash offer is higher than what Netflix offered in terms of cash, stock, and the value of the cable business spinoff. How much did they offer? Doesn't tell me the exact amounts here, but it's this battle between who is going to acquire Warner Bros. I don't think either Paramount or Netflix would be a good option. But anyway, lesser of two evils. We'll see, dude. Not a big fan of any watching TV shows, none of that stuff anyway, so. Good. Don't care. Moving on. We're on the rise a little. Recent hours on the rise, 89K. Not too bad. Long entry here? No, not yet. I'm going to wait patiently for the 87, 86 and see what happens. Might do what I drew there, so bookmark that part of the video. That's all for tonight, guys. No more news. It's interesting day. Yeah, the fact that we dropped for quite absolutely no reason. It is manipulation, dude. I hate to blame it on manipulation, this, that. No, but it is. It has to be. There's no other logical explanation for it. Everything is good. Fundamentals are strong. We should be 100K plus by now, but nope. Yeah, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. Sunday is going to be more insightful when it comes to what we can expect for the upcoming week. Just really pay attention to Wednesday, FOMC decision day, right over here. Or else, same thing with Canada, by the way. We also get the same kind of data that the United States kind of has, usually on the same days. So yeah. Okay, that's basically it. Rest of this, who cares? Oh, non-farm payrolls. Here they are for October. We are getting it on December 16. And same with November non-farm payrolls. Dude, December 16 is going to be a really volatile day then. That is crazy. Crazy heavy volatility here. Okay. Okay, well, watch out for December 16. That's next week, Tuesday. So yeah. What are we expecting after this? I hate to be that guy. Like, I know we're about to come up on the FOMC meeting, and what we're expecting right now is a rate cut, but what's coming after that? I think it's still also, oh, no rate cuts. 85% chance we stay here. Then it's a 50-50 for March if we get a rate cut, but overall it's looking like, yeah, we will get those rates reduced for the next year. I think we're expecting 3, 1, 2. It's now basically 2 rate cuts for 2026. That might have been the cause. I could see this now. The cause why we're dropping. We're no longer expecting 3 rate cuts for 2026 for whatever reason. I think it could be a little irresponsible to cut too much. I will agree. But we're going to get Kevin Hassett. When does Jerome Powell leave? Term end. I've looked this up before and I just can't remember. May 2026. May. Literally in between these two. Okay, well. I'm probably going to forget next time, but it's whatever. That's fine. So that's all we can expect so far. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching.